Good evening. On the world news tonight from BGI Television, Babagade Imo TV. First, the headlines. Tinubu honors Super Eagles with National Award, lands in FCT. Tinubu working hard to solve problems created by decades of maladministration, Atiku's aid. Probe Buhari's organization and administration, Ohaneze chieftain tells Tinubu. No going back on nationwide strike against hardship, labor unions. Pan-Yoruba group AYDM asked Southwest governors to set up 100 billion naira regional security trust fund to tackle banditry kidnappings. On sport, we brought to you learn not to bench him in key games. Ex-Super Eagles coach faults Pesero's decision in AFCON final. I am Moribe Rabila Lawal. The news in detail. President Bola Tinubu met with national team, the Super Eagles, where he announced national awards, member of the Order of the Niger, MON, on each of them. The honors bestowed on them also included flats in the Federal Capital Territory, FCT, and a piece of land. The delegation to the presidency was led by the Minister of Sports Development, Senator John Owen Onum, including officials of the Nigerian Football Federation, NFF. The Super Eagles came second in the just concluded Africa Cup of Nations AFCON, hosted by Côte d'Ivoire. Other officials spotted by correspondent on ground include Alex Iwobi, who had faced cyber attacks following Nigeria's loss to Côte d'Ivoire at the final of the just concluded Africa Cup of Nations. President Tinubu added a statement issued by Special Assistant and Special Advisor on Media and Publicity Ajuri Ngelale, commended the team, the coach, the crew, and the entire management team for the hard work, acidity, and sacrifices come thus far in the tournament, acknowledging their others they consistently surpassed with steadily improving performance as they pulled through to the finals. The president had urged Nigerians to be of good cheer, emphasizing that Nigeria won a great victory in the heart of Africa and the world by grit, rigor, and determination in the field of play. Daniel Bwala, a former aide to the People's Democratic Party, PDP, presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar, said President Bola Tinubu is working to solve the country's problem. Bwala said the problems facing Nigeria was caused by decades of maladministration. Posting on X, he pointed out that the food crisis Nigerians are experiencing was a global phenomenon. According to him, food inflation is global. This small bottle of palm oil is sold for 200 euros pound sterling, 38,000 naira. Air quote now is 45,000 naira in London. The good news is that it's projected that global food inflation will drop by the end of this year, so cheer up my people. There is no perfect president or perfect democracy. Let nobody fool you. Forget the noise your presidential candidate could have done worse. President Tinubu is working hard to find solutions to our problems created over decades of maladministration. Let us have faith in our country and our leaders and offer solutions rather than insults. A chieftain of Ohaneze Indigbo, the Apex Igbo Socio-Cultural Organization, Okechukwu Izeguzoro, on Tuesday urged President Tinubu to probe the administration of his predecessor, ex-President Muhammadu Buhari. Izeguzoro said the probe would solve Nigeria's economy from further deterioration. The factional Secretary General of Ohaneze said the probe must investigate the reckless external borrowing, which failed to translate into visible and tangible projects during Buhari's regime. He made the call in a statement titled "Urgent Action Required, Probe Buhari, Ministers, and Close Aides to Save Nigeria's Agonizing Economy." It is time to officially initiate an executive probe into former President Muhammadu Buhari's administration and the severe mismanagement of Nigeria's economy from 2012 to 2023. Furthermore, the probe must address the monumental reloathing of recovered loot from corrupt individuals and corporate organizations by Buhari's ministers, close aides, and family members. The suffering endured by Indigbo and Nigerians as a whole in abject poverty and unimaginable hardship can be directly attributed to the incompetence of Buhari's economic teams and the audacious reloathing of recovered assets. Moving on to the next story. The NLC and TUC made a development known in a Monday meeting with officials of the Federal Ministry of Labor and Employment, which was chaired by the Minister of State for Labor in Kiruka, Onye Jiocha. The Labour leaders stressed that only government action in addressing the 15-point agenda reached on October 2, 2023 could avert the planned strike, despite the minister's plea to reconsider the strike, citing ongoing efforts by the federal government to address Labour demands. The Labour leaders stood firm. The NLC and TUC issued a 14-day strike notice to the federal government effective from February 9, expressing their frustration with the government's perceived indifference to the plight of workers despite efforts to maintain industrial peace. The group made this call, the Pan-Yoruba group made this call statement on Tuesday and signed by its General Secretary, Mr. Popo Lajayi, explaining the Trustfund was necessary to address the rising insecurity in the region. The group also has asked the state governors of all the 6 states that constituted Nigeria's southwest region to set up a regional security trust fund. The group made this call in a statement on Tuesday by their General Secretary. The statement said that funds should be managed by non-state actors selected by each of the 6 states concerned and estimated that no fewer than 100 billion naira should be realized in the first 6 months of its launch. There are some 60 million people in Southwest. Every adult from the age of 18 resident in the West should be encouraged to contribute a minimum of 500 naira to the fund. This will be invested in providing necessary material and training for Amatekun, while creating and building a strong intelligence bureau that would tackle all varieties of crime in the region, the statement reads. The organization expressed significant concern about the growing threat of abduction and other violent criminal activities in Yoruba land, as well as the occupation of fertile land by armed robbers opposed to food insecurity. The group urges Southwest governors to create the Regional Security Trust Fund as a collaborative, proactive effort to secure the region. It contended that the current spike in criminal activities, including kidnapping, banditry, cultism, cybercrime, and drug misuse, has aroused alarms within the Yoruba communities. Going to the east, leadership of the Southern and Middle Belt Forum have deplored the continued incarceration of the leader of the proscribed indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, on treason charges by the federal government. The group stated this in a communique issued yesterday at the end of its meeting in Abuja and warned of the implication of Kanu's incarceration on the peace and security in the Southeast Zone. The meeting, which was chaired by Chief Edwin Clark, also condemned the setting up of an ethnic militia group by the Miyetti Allah recently in Lafia, Nasarawa State. The group urged President Bola Tinubu's administration not to condone that action, as this poses a serious threat to peace and unity. According to the group, condoning it could force other ethnic nationalities to establish their own militias. The release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is in the interest of the entire country, as the leadership of Ohaneze Ndigbo has promised that they will work with him to restore peace in the region. To the southwest. As part of effort to enhance the safety of life and property in the state, Governor Loki Aiyedatiwa of Oyo State said his administration would soon procure vehicles and gadgets for security agencies in the state to enhance the safety of lives and properties. Aiyedatiwa disclosed this on Tuesday after a meeting with the Assistant Inspector General of Police, Commissioner of Police, State Commander of Amatekun, and other heads of security agencies in the state in Akure, Ondo State capital. Aiyedatiwa stressed the need to fortify the security architecture within the state, emphasizing a commitment to supporting security agencies with the necessary tools and resources. He said the purchase of vehicles is part of the outlined plans to address the present issues of mobility, a significant challenge hindering effective policing. And to the next story. The Department of Security Services DSS has grilled a popular Islamic cleric, Sheikh Awad Sharif, based in Zaria, Kaduna State, over his recent sermon where he criticized President Bola Tinubu's government. Sheikh Awad Sharif is a renowned critic of the Nigerian government, and in one of his recent sermons during Jumat prayer, he faulted Tinubu's failed economic policies for the sufferings and inflation Nigerians are facing presently. In one of the videos of his sermon, Sharif has linked to the power transition between former President Muhammad Buhari to Tinubu, that of Pharaoh and Haman, information report. He also berated the president for the hasty decision to remove petrol subsidy. After announcing the removal of the inauguration stage, the petrol price jumped from 200 naira to cover 600 naira before the president left the venue, and people just laughed it off as though nothing happened. What kind of people are we? He said Tinubu and Buhari are like Pharaoh and Haman. There is no difference between them. If not Tinubu's lack of respect and dignity for Nigerians, how can you announce the removal of subsidy in your inaugural speech? And to the next story. Femi Adegbemi, a suspect arrested by officials of the Lagos Traffic Management Authority LASTMAN for illegally collecting money from owners of impounded vehicles in Oshodi, has told LASTMAN officials how he and his gangs makes about 250,000 naira collecting illegal fees from drivers and owners of containers in Oshodi. The operative of LASTMAN on Tuesday, 13 February 2024, apprehended Adegbemi, described as a serial impersonator, after collecting 140,000 naira from owners of vehicles impounded for traffic infractions by the agency. The Director of Public Affairs and Enlightenment Department of LASTMAN, Mr. Adebayo Taufik, confirmed that the suspect was apprehended by the monitoring and surveillance team of the agency at Oshodi. The suspect was apprehended after the agency received complaints of extortion from owners of interstate commercial buses impounded and tricketed for traffic infractions around Mosholashi by Alaka area of Surulere. And to the foreign story. Russia declared Estonian Prime Minister Kaja Kallas as wanted on criminal charges Tuesday in an unprecedented step against its ballistic neighbors. It was not immediately clear why Kallas, who has held Estonia since 2021, was listed as wanted. Relations between Moscow and EU member Estonia, which is home to a sizable Russian minority, have remained tense since the end of the Cold War. Russia has frequently chided Estonia for removing Soviet-era war monuments, which Stalin sees as unwelcome symbols of its occupation under the USSR. The Russian Interior Ministry database of wanted people showed Kallas as wanted under the criminal code without naming the charges, accompanied by a picture of the leader. There was no immediate reaction from Estonia. Finally, sports. The former coach of the senior national team of Nigeria, Janet Rowe, has given its opinion on the 1-2 defeat the senior national team of Nigeria suffered in the final of the Africa Cup of Nations against the host nation Cote d'Ivoire. Nigeria were denied a fourth African trophy by the hosts, who had to come from behind to win the game in front of a capacity crowd with 2 second goals from Frank Kesse and Sebastian Alla, cancelling out William Troost-Ekong's earlier goal. Speaking about the game, Rowe, who will remain the longest-serving coach of the team after staying in charge for close to 6 years, pointed out the decision not to start Moses Simon as partly why they struggled. Rowe gave instance of how he learned not to bend the Nantes winger in the big games after seeing how it cost them in 2019 Africa Cup of Nations semi-final game against Algeria. Head coach of the Super Eagles, Joseph Pesaro, bent the 28-year-old who won the Man of the Match award more than any Nigerian player at the tournament, picking Samuel Chukwueze to start ahead of him. With our sports story, we've come to the end of today's world news. Before we go, some headlines. Tinubu honors Super Eagles with national award, lands in FCT. Tinubu working hard to solve problems created by decades of maladministration, Atiku's aid. Pro-Buhari's administration, Ohaneze chieftain tells Tinubu, no going back on nationwide strike against hardship, NLC. Pan-Yoruba group AYDM asks Southwest governors to set up 100 billion naira regional security trust fund to tackle banditry and kidnappings. Ohaneze, Afenifere Pandep demand Kano's release, reject ethnic militia. On sport, we're brought to you. I learned not to bench him in key games. Ex-Super Eagles coach fought personal decisions in AFCON final. For update of our broadcast on YouTube, our handle is Babagwadede Imo Television. Can you subscribe and click on the notification bell? Select option all to access all of our broadcasts. On Facebook, Bagede Imo with Alawi Adebayo. Please like and follow the page. Thank you for watching. I am Morire. Good evening.